Hey, welcome everybody. Technical difficulties to start off my Thursday. You guys better get out of here. We want to thank you for joining us. Welcome to another wonderful episode of Real Talk with Carl and Charlene. And of course, as I always say, we got a wonderful guest today, but we got someone that's going to be talking about something that is very near and dear to me. And she's going to be talking about development. Yeah, I know y'all got these OBMs and all of these virtual assistants and all of these business entrepreneurs and all of these strategies and all of that. But it all starts with you. Your business starts with you. The development of what you're doing starts with you. And if you don't have that personal development, you don't get them skills, you don't get them practices, you don't get those things necessary to keep you afloat. But I can't do this by myself. I don't do this by myself. I got my wonderful co-host that's coming to the scene. Y'all already know who she is. She comes every Tuesday and Thursday with this wonderful hello that she does. So, what's up,
Hey,
Charlene?
y'all. What's going on, everybody? I said more today.
She's a little livelier today. It's more than a hey. So we are progressing going in going into this week. Look, just let me get my housekeeping out the way. I want to thank everybody that's stopping by, that's joining us live. Of course, you know we can't do this without you, and we want you to drop where you tune in from. Let us know. Global Show, you know how we roll. Let us know. Also, put your comments in. We want to hear what you got to say about what we're talking about because we're going to uncover some real gems today, and we're going to be talking about some development. And this is some of my personal thing. We're talking about pushing beyond your mental roadblocks. And with this time now that we've been in the pandemic and so much going on, we're still here. I don't care what they say about the shots, the boosters, the shots who ain't taking them, who is taking them, and we still here. So right now there's a lot of mental hurdles that people are going through, whether they're discussing it with others, whether they're seeking help, whatever the cost may be, whatever it may be. We're going to talk about some of those things, how you can push through some of those things on your journey. But I'm going to bring to the set our wonderful guest, Mrs. Rynette Upson-Bush. I'm going to bring her to the stage. What's going on this morning, dear?
Hey.
We got
Thank you all for
another
having
Charlene.
me.
Hello.
I'm so excited.
Yes. So we want to welcome you to our real talk, and I know when I was just reading your bio and I was just looking like speaker, MC, author. I like the MC part. I went back to my 80s days in the club, the MC, right? Those kind of things. Those are talents that a lot of people think they have. A lot of
Mhm.
people probably have developed in their little niche and area, but the most things that set out to me the most in what you do, besides the author and all of that, because that's phenomenal, was the mindset and success coach. And those are the things that really prepare you to do all the other things that what you're talking about. Because if your mind is not geared and it's not set and you're not strong and able to dig in, there are a lot of things that can derail you as an entrepreneur and as all these other things. So right now, I want to throw it to you. Let us know a little bit about you. Let us know your shine.
All right, all right. Well, again, thank you. My name is Rynette Upson-Bush. I am the CEO and founder of the Next Level Nation and Next Level Chicks. And my mantra is to push people on purpose for the purpose of walking in their purpose and their destiny. We all have purpose. We all have destiny. We were all born for an assignment. And my assignment is to help people to get in alignment for their God given assignment. And I do that through speaking, I do it through master classes, I do that through coaching, wherever I can serve and give. I mean, my big lofty thing in life is to impact 1 million plus people and help them to go to their next level. Everybody talks about next level, but they're not really about it. We got to stop talking about it and be about it. We got to do the work. We got to take some action to make those things happen. So,
Well,
Well, we just kind of early be doing the mic drops, but it is what it is, right? we getting it in early. We getting it in early. What makes you so passionate about the direction that you're taking with the next level? Because everybody next level. I mean, I think I say this every show. It bears to be repeated because it is. Everybody is 6 steps to 7 figures. Everybody is, $50,000 course. I can have it for you in 30 days. Everybody got all of these strategies, or they call strategies, Instagram, Facebook, you scrolling, you seeing them all. But I don't hear people talking a lot about the dynamics or the integral parts of moving that. I see a lot of the fluff. I feel a lot of the fluff. I kind of like swim through a lot of the fluff. What makes what you do and getting to the next level so dynamic that people actually move to the next level?
Well, because like you said, everybody's with the fluff and all of these numbers and business, business, business.
Mhm.
But before business is you. And you have to know you have to develop yourself personally. A lot of people who jump into business and they start having issues and wondering, well, why can't I sustain this, or why can't I? And then they can't keep their relationship. They don't know whether they're going or coming because you haven't developed yourself personally. And I'm passionate about that because for the longest, I struggled with who I was. I grew up, we grow up, first of all, we're born in a way to believe that we can do anything and everything. We're confident. We believe that we could jump off a building. We're going to live forever. And so until somebody introduces you to fear, to low self-esteem, they take away your confidence, you just don't know about it. So when I was younger, my mother used to always say, children should be seen and not heard. She would always see the glasses half empty, not because she wanted to be mean or whatever, but basically that was safe for her. And so that's how I learned as well to be safe. So if I see the glasses half empty, if something doesn't happen, okay, I wasn't expecting it anyway. If something does happen, ooh, that's great. I'm excited about it. So that's how I live. So everything I wanted to do or thought I wanted to do, I was just really negative about it. I never believed in myself. And I always, as a child, I wanted to be, before I got my feelings crushed, I wanted to be an actress and I wanted to be this businesswoman. And I was just so excited about it. And of course, back in the day, oh, that's not for Black women. They can't own a business. Nobody's going to let you own a business. Where you going to get the money from? All this negative stuff. Go to school, get your job, get your husband, the house, the traditional safe route. So that's what I was taught, even though that wasn't what I wanted to do. And so for the longest, I did that. Never believed in myself. I always knew it was something more for me, but I never believed in it. And until I got around the right people and looked at the dynamics of what was happening in my life. I was a teacher, administrator, college professor, University of Phoenix for years, but I knew that I had something more in me. I had this innate ability to want to do something bigger. So eventually I got up the nerve. Took me a long time. I was in the school system and, working at the college. I did all of that for 17 years. And I finally decided, you know what? I need to leave. I got to. Every year I was leaving, I would say that, but then I would get scared. So finally I left to start a school. And when I left, the first thing you do is get a building. So I had 6 buildings to fall through. So obviously, with 6 buildings falling through, most of the time, the first building, I already I was in the school system, University of Phoenix, invested in both places. I could have easily run back, but I decided that it had to be about me moving forward, me stepping into me. And so I said, this is a faith walk. And I just kept, every building I was falling through, I mean, I'm not going to go through the long drawn out story, but it was a piece of work, and then, like I said, most people would run back after the first or second building, but I just kept saying, this is my time. This is a faith walk. I got to do this for me. And so I went through. So on the 7th building, got the building, opened the school, went through hell to get the building open. Let me mind you, because we opened a preschool, and it was in an area where it was 41 child care facilities on one street. So we were like a mile down the street. So everybody was like, y'all crazy. Why would y'all be doing that? I was in a partnership with my sister. Everybody was speaking negative, but we decided we're going to do this. So we opened the school in October 2013. By March 2014, we were full. We became the Orlando Magic Preschool of the Year. We became accredited nationally and internationally. I mean, the accolades went on. So within 14 months, we were $1 million business. Didn't even understand that we were making this kind of money because we just working. So it was like, oh my God, this is really happening. And so as this started happening, of course, the news was coming in. They, want to do segments, and we were all at the games on the floor, at the Magic games. And so somebody asked me to come speak about what happened as an entrepreneur. Like, I was like, okay. So I spoke, and on that speaking engagement, my first, I was like, oh my God, I am supposed to be a speaker. So I decided that I needed to speak. This was my purpose. I was supposed to pour into the lives of people, and I'm gonna do this. So I started doing it. Of course, I told you I was in a partnership. So my sister was not too happy with me. She complained, "You're not doing what you're supposed to do. We doing this business together." Because I was going out of town. It was just really a lot of dissension. So as the pandemic hit, when we were shut down, I said, I made up my mind I was leaving. And so at the end of the year, I thought I would leave in December, January 2021. I would start my own, on my own full time. In that process of the pandemic happening, I ended up losing my 6-year-old grandson due to a car accident. And so at that point, between the dissension and losing him, and he went to the school and everything, it was like, this is my time to really leave and truly, truly walk in my purpose. So I ended up leaving the school, and I'm now truly walking in my purpose, doing this full time, speaking, coaching, doing what I do. And so I had to believe in me. If I had still had that negative attitude, if I had not been developed personally, it would have been very hard for me to do. And so you have to make up your mind that you got to work on you first. Everybody wants to jump into business. And it took a lot for me to jump into that business because, like I said, I was going back and forth. I didn't really believe in myself. I saw the glass as half empty. I always thought about what wouldn't happen. Even when we opened the building, I had some personal development, but I was always scared of failure. I didn't even think about success. And then when it happened, it was like, oh my God, we had so much going on, everybody coming at us. And it's like, what do you do? So you really have to be prepared for what you ask for. And so personally developing yourself is really a part of that. And a lot of times you can get a business and be so excited and things working, you scaling up that business. But how about scaling up you? See, that's the problem. People don't scale themselves up. And I love this title, Pushing Beyond Your Mental Roadblocks. And I have an acronym that I like to use for push. And then I'm gonna be quiet because I know I've gone a little minute.
No, we suck that. I'm the notebook guy. You see me turning my head.
He's over there
yeah. I take notes on every episode. I'm the notebook guy.
You sure got you some notes. I love it.
So
yep.
I'm
note
hearing
takers are the money makers.
Oh, say that one more time for the
note takers are the money makers, baby.
Say that one more time for the ones who be talking about my notebook.
Money makers. I hope y'all taking notes. So anyway, so push. That's very important because a lot of people, like I said, at the first sign of adversity, at the first sign of scariness and fear, people will quit. And so if you really know that you were called to do something, if you really know that what's for you is for you, you're going to push through. So what a lot of people pray until something happens. That's real good. But people keep praying until something happens. You're not doing no action. You wait for something to happen. You have to get up and make it happen. So I want to say what push is in my definition.
Absolutely.
The P is for patience. When you have a dream, a goal, or a vision, it's not going to drop in your lap. It's not going to happen like poof, magic. You got to be patient. You have to be patient. And so in being patient, the you is understanding. You have to understand that you got to do the work. You can pray all day, but if you don't put no action to it, it's not going to happen. So you have to understand that not only do you have to pray, you have to understand it's a process. That's why you got to be patient as you're going through that process. A lot of times people just want stuff to happen overnight. They look at somebody else's story. They only see in the glory. They didn't see the work, what came in between the story and the glory. You know, they didn't see what came, between the vision and the glory. They don't know the story. So they thinking, it happened for them. It can happen for me. But then when it doesn't happen, they want to quit. So the S is for strength. You got to have strength for this journey, this entrepreneurial journey.
Yes, you do.
This thing is not easy. We're not going to sit up here and sugarcoat and babysit. We're going to tell the truth. It's not easy. And so that's why it's very important to me to have your mind developed in a way that you can move forward even through those things that happen, and understand that it's not failure. Understand that those are lessons that you can turn into blessings if you choose to keep moving and stand in your strength. So you got to have strength for this. And if you don't, as you feeling like you're not strong enough, you pull on God for that strength. And then the H is for help. See, success does not happen alone. Everybody, I got this. And if you had it, you would have already done it. So success doesn't happen alone. You got to get the help. Whether that's, some coaching, whether that's some therapy, whether that's, you need a mentor, whether, you need a good circle of friends, but you're not going to do this by yourself. Everybody that you see that has been a success, I promise they didn't do it on their own. And if they say they did, they lying. I'm telling you the truth. Nobody does nothing on their own. No man is an island. You got to have help. So again, that's patience, understanding, strength, and help. When you are ready to really move past those mental blocks, really go to your next level, then you got to be willing to push until you see what you say.
Come on, because you tapped into something my mother always says, and it's no man is an island, which is true. But then it also means you can't just pray your way into success. You have to put that work into it. So a lot of times people fail to really resonate and connect to what's really the bottom line is you still got to put that work in no matter what you do. So you can build a network, but if you're not putting that work in to keep up with people, to show up for them as well as they show up for you, then what's the point? You have a business that you started, but you're not putting that work in to continue to learn how to keep that business running. What's new that's coming out? You don't have to jump on everything, but still keep up to date to see what's happening. Same thing.
Absolutely.
Oh man, you got like I don't know where to begin. I'm telling you. First of all, I'm probably gonna take an offering because you just went to church on us on the big side. We get to pass the offering plan on that for sure. Because I mean all of this stuff, but you hit something very vital that I wanted to come back around to. And I think it's very critical what we really don't take into consideration. And I myself did not know the blessing I had with the upbringing I had. And you talk about how in the beginning people poured into you, not necessarily on purpose, but from what they knew, the negativity of advancing and having dreams and being. And I did not know how big that was until I got out in the world of my parents always telling me I could be anything and was behind, everything that I was doing. Even when I wanted to do, because I wanted to be Denzel for the longest. Like I just wanted to be Eddie Murphy, not Denzel. Eddie Murphy, because I thought I was a funny dude, and they used to have me do like the little comedy stuff at holiday gatherings or whatever, right? But like most people would go and say, and I've come to find it out, just even sharing some of my stories with so many people I know, a lot of times they got rebuked for that. Go sit down, your kid, you seen and not heard, right? But my parents was kind of like, yo, look at my kid, he's kind of entertaining, and they would let me like carry that on till, they thought I carried it on too far. Then they tell me go sit down. But they were always engaged in the things that I wanted to do, and they were always positive. Even if my mom was a CPA and my dad was this carpenter, it's like they never told me that you're gonna do what they doing. They always said make happy, and I didn't realize how important that was until I got around others. When I got out of their house and I started being with others, working with others, I would hear these stories of just like people living in houses where there was no dreams. Like kids didn't have dreams. Like I used to want to tell everybody I'm gonna be a lawyer when I grow up. Like that was a dream that we came to school that I can't. A lot of kids didn't have dreams. They would pick I want to be a basketball player or I want to be a football player. They didn't have dreams, and I think a lot of that what we don't realize is that us as parents, we've got to instill that into our children and take them forth. And you brought that in, and that touched really home with me because that's part of the personal development that so many adults lack in what they do, whether it be in life, whether it be in their business, whether it be in their personal. They don't have that development. And Lord knows, I'm glad you hit on that push. Because us as African Americans, boy, they tell us, look, I'm with the old Negro spirituals, I'm with all of that. But praying, you got to do something besides praying. God even tell you do something besides praying. You keep on pushing, and ain't nothing going on unless you pray. So I'm gonna put that in the chat. Patience, understanding, strength, and hope. That's the new push, y'all. Not praying till something happens. You can put them two together, or put them two.
Help, strength, and help.
And strength and help. Yes, and strength and help. That's the new push. So I didn't say my piece. Go ahead, Charlie.
You hit so much on the head.
Yes.
My question is, when people come at you with I don't need to work on me, I'm good, and they still stumbling and struggling, what is that myth that might be keeping them from actually embracing doing the work on improving who they are so they can get to the next level?
A lot of that myth is fear. They're stuck in the fear. They truly don't believe in themselves. And I kind of want to give y'all a little definition of fear, if I may.
Yes, drop it. So this is Jim's
fear stands for, I know what everybody say, forget everything and run. Fear is friends, enemies, and relatives. You have your friends and they're good with you, long as y'all here on the playing field, but as soon as you try to do like this, it becomes a problem. They start acting funny. Oh, you think you better than me? Oh, you trying to turn on me? They get stink. They get fun. They don't even get stink. They get stank. And so they start acting real crazy. And so you start to second guessing yourself, and they start telling you where you can go, what you can do. And so you start to not want to feel better than them, because the whole thing is you need to fit in. That's what you've been taught, to fit in. And then you have your enemies. Of course, they never liked you no way. They don't want to see you succeed or move forward at all. So they praying against you. And then the A is for Ann, and the R is for relatives. You have those relatives like my mother. They want to keep you safe. They want to keep you in the space of, well, I don't want you to lose your money. I don't want you to get gotten over on. I don't want your feelings hurt. So they're keeping you safe in this space when you have so many more dreams, so much stuff that you want to do bigger than where you are. But because you're stuck in that, what they've said to you, you are stuck in this fear. So now you start to hear this small voice that comes to kill, steal, and destroy those dreams tell you, you can't do it. It's stupid. You don't have enough money. You might not have enough degrees behind your name. You have all these things going on in your head that's really moving you to stay still. And I mean, many people are okay and they love to tell, well, everybody doing it, so you don't have to worry about it. We're not called to be everybody. We called to be somebody. And so you have to understand that you need to walk into somebody God called you to be. And what I didn't tell y'all is Sidney Poitier, I don't know if y'all know him or not. Y'all kind of young, but that's my grandfather's brother.
I know the man.
As I was growing up, I mean, he'll come to my grandmother's house, pull up in his limousine, and we go shopping, we get to eat, we get to do all of these things. So that's why I really wanted to be this actress. We went on the set when he did Separate but Equal, and we would just, I was so Lord, I can do this. This is me. And then I had another uncle, he owned 3 funeral homes. And so I'm seeing all of this, and they were making money. They were living the life. But my mother, like I said, she told me, you should be seen and not heard. You need to go to school and be a teacher. So I got stuck in that. And I really I had a dream, but I kind of just didn't even really think about it. And so I stayed. That's why I said fear. That a lot of that came from family. And then as I tried, now as I stepped out and doing the school and doing my speaking, I have a lot of people who, you different. All you do is work. You act like you ain't got time for no, I can't listen to all of that. I have to let them keep their problems. That's the difference between then and now. I used to take all of that in, take all of that on. If you don't have the right energy, baby, you can't be around me. I'm not doing it. Okay. So you got to keep that over there. So, and people they think I'm acting funny or whatever. I can't do you. That means my children. That means my family, whoever it is. I know I was called for a purpose, and I'm going to walk in that purpose. I'm going to do everything I need to do before I die. And so when I die, I will be dying empty, because I'm going to walk my purpose. I don't care what, come hell or high water, I got to do what I got to do.
Yeah, you put that you put that out there, and what's powerful about that, even now when we ask the dynamic of the parents and the family, and oh man, that was awesome. Even how you expounded on that with the fear, and your fear is attached to all three of those elements: your friends,
Mm-hmm.
your enemies, and your relatives, and you're seeking out of those three elements to please one of them, and in all time you're missing your purpose and you're missing your calling, and this is why it's so important that that be cultivated in you at an early stage. And you had those things because I like you. My dad, it was like 13 of them, and I had a uncle that was a cop for 30 some years. I had some people that was professional that was doing some things for black people. That was really like something that you could look up to, a role model. And then I had my parents was telling me those kind of things. So it is so man, it is so unique to an extent, but it's such a necessity as well, that when you have those opportunities, you have to go through them, because everybody don't get to go through those mental roadblocks and be successful. And when you're talking
Right.
about pushing beyond yours, like your parent is kind of like the be all, and if you don't get it from them, how can you take it out? How can you start to develop it? How can you even know what you are about? And I think that takes a lot of courage for you to even go into that in the directions that you took, and just continue the avenue. And though you stayed at University, finished 7 times, that's where the development came in at. Because I never think that your journey is wasteful. I
Right.
think even if you've come to a point so long in your journey and there's a realization, that journey was worth it, because that journey made you. And I think with you staying there teaching, you got a lot of the fortification skills that was the development of you coming out of that and starting your own business. And it's just phenomenal. I'm getting an education this morning.
That was definitely very necessary. You know, I worked for DCF, hated the job. I was ready to get assistance instead of trying to, help people get it, because I just was like, this is not for me. I'm gonna quit. And my mom was like, I told you to go teach. And I did not know. So as I was a teacher, and when my principal pulled me out of the classroom into administration, so I started doing professional development for the teachers, helping teachers get their discipline, their management plan, and just out there speaking. I did not realize that I was speaking. I always had a fear of public speaking. I used to want to run for like my high school queen and maybe in college, but I just was so scared to like speak in front of people. But as I was doing it as a professional, I guess it was different. So when I had that first speaking engagement, I was a little nervous, but I kept saying, I'm teaching them something. These are my students. So that's how I saw them, as my students. I never realized that teaching really did come into play. And even though I'm still certified and all that, but I'm not at the school, but I'm still teaching. So that's a part of my purpose. It was a part of the process that I had to go through. So even though she was like, just go to school and teach, and I didn't really want to, I do understand that it's all a part of the process. And like I said, we all learn a lesson. We all get something from it. So we all have to choose to see the good out of the bad. Whatever has happened, we have to keep it moving and not stay stuck in that. Whatever happened, we got to figure out, okay, so what lesson am I supposed to learn from this? God, what do you want me to do? So many people sit up and say, well, why me? They all a hot mess and finding this pity party and want to be babysat. And that's just not going to help you. And so that's why the personal development is so big. The process is so big. And if you don't get that personal development, if you don't get that process, what happens, you get that business and you're very limited in the connections, maybe limited in your conversations, limited in the way you step out, the way you move, because you haven't learned that personal development. You haven't really understood your process. So because you were sitting up with the pity party and saying, why me, you hadn't looked back to think, well, okay, what was I supposed to get from this? And a lot of people in business, you just want to keep going. How about we need to self-reflect? That's a part of that personal development as well. We need to reflect on what has happened and why it has happened. But everybody just want to move past it and keep it moving. I did a live this morning. I said, don't look back. And because a lot of people are stuck back there, but at certain points in your life, you do need to look back. But the problem is with people, when they look back, they stay back. They always back in the days, them high school football players.
Man, yeah,
football players. They still talking about
they didn't have a belly and they had muscles back then, and they
Yep.
like, don't
Yeah.
what had happened, and I used to be. You don't want to keep sitting in I used to be. What's next?
And those reflections are important. A lot of people try to get away from those. And I know a lot of times that is disconnected to the bad memories, obviously, because when you don't want to look back, there's also that trauma of whatever you've been through, especially in childhood or growing up or wherever it happened. But I did a workshop about that about a year ago on reflections, because sometimes it's necessary for you to look back. And if it's not to embrace the journey, to give yourself courage to continue, because sometimes I look back over things and I have people point things out, and I'm sure you guys have as well. When you have forgotten about those hurdles and those roadblocks that you've come through because you're grinding. And I've had people come back to me and say, yo, remember when you did that? Man, I forgot all about that. And you need that. You need those reflections and those points in life so you can continue. Because not only does it give you the strength to, it also sustains you, because you're like, yeah, I did do that. And we're empowered by that. The Bible tells you we are encouraged by each other's testimony. Absolutely. So if I'm not hearing you telling me good news, you know what I mean? I'm not encouraged. But when I hear you that went through, now I'm hearing your story, and I'm like, oh, I got a new breath now. You know what I mean? Charlene, she got a new breath now. We can like, oh, okay. That's why we do this real talk, because I put the stories together, and then I get the stamina, I get the strength, I get the push. Man, I'm happy.
Yeah. And even with that, because even as you're, like you said, you get stuck. So as you're trying to reflect and really try to figure out how did you get to where you are, sometimes it's not a matter of I'm thinking back and I'm just reveling in the bad. It's reliving my nightmare. It's actually trying to tell you, okay, go back, look at all that you've been through, so you can now say, wow, look how far I've come. A lot of times people, when they're looking back, maybe they never made progress. That's why it's so easy for them to feel stuck in that that back in the time trauma. And I heard a few people say, when you're in trauma, maybe that's what you need to work on first, so you can start to go and live your life and start to go after your successes. How do you really get people to go through, what's one of your strategies to help them get past that roadblock, that mental downer that they're just ending up reliving and rehashing almost like a bad PTS moment? Like how do they do that?
First of all, you have to really be willing to sit and recognize what has happened. A lot of times people can't they think they're getting past it because they're just skipping over it. You want to just get through or get by. And so you have to really look at what has happened. You have to process, like, what are you feeling? What are you feeling? What do you want to feel? And until you actually face and embrace a situation that has happened, you will just be putting a Band-Aid on it. Because soon as that one thing comes up, it's going to happen again and again and again. And then now you started this business and you're doing this thing. And every time something happens, you go back to that thing that you never got past. And what we need to understand as business owners, the bottom line is this. You're going to make mistakes in business. Not everything is going to be perfect. That's why we have to plan, do, review. We plan what we're going to do. We do it, and then we review it. And that's the same thing you must do for your life. Everything needs to be planned. And you plan it, you do life, but then you go back. That's the self-reflection part. So as you've gone through this trauma, and I'm get on Black people again. We're doing better. But y'all know you're not supposed to go to therapy. And I'm going to be very honest. I told y'all I lost my 6-year-old grandson. And with that happening, that was just a huge loss to my family. And I really felt, because I have grandkids as well. And I'm like, okay, you know, we need to get therapy for these kids. My husband say, no, we're going to do this in the house. Y'all know what happens in the house stays in the house. We don't need therapy. We're going to make all this thing work. That doesn't work. That's why you have to really face and embrace and start getting the steps. We don't know everything. Yeah. And we can't keep stuff in the house. We can't keep all of these things bottled up. Because see, what's inside is going to eventually spill outside. So we have to deal with, we always trying to handle stuff basically from the outside. We want to work outside in when we have to work inside out. And so just sitting in the house, and then when we sit in the house, we're not talking about it. That's not happening.
Yeah. Because it stays in the house. You put a point in it. It stays in the house, but it's never discussed in the house.
Right. Absolutely.
So if you say, because I think all of us with this brown skin, we've been brought up with the parents are like, yo, what goes on here? I thought I lived in Vegas all my life. What goes on here stays here. Because like we couldn't say nothing about what went on in the house. And then I got out in the world and I was like, yo, that's Vegas. I grew up in Chicago. Why we always talking about what stays in the house? But it is, but we talking about that, but we never discussed that. We have so many issues and traumas and situations that go on in the house, and everybody is on hush hush mode. Because my dad was like that from the door. Like we ain't doing no therapy. Who you need to talk to? Psychiatrists? They ain't be talking about people crazy. Yeah. See my son going to psychiatrist. We got all these stigmas and all these isms and schisms, and we have a lot of people growing up with traumas who can't be revealed who they are because of the simple fact they're so crushed in where they've been and the things that have happened to them. You put that on the point.
But we've seen trauma spills out. And no matter what you think, it's going to come out. Hopefully, you don't create a mass murderer from keeping this.
Oh man,
that's what happens. I mean,
I watch these shows all the time, not because I live and I want to see it, but I want to see, where did these people come from? Why did they flip? Did they flip from birth? Where did something traumatic happen in their life and they never talked about it, and it just manifested into them being violent? Where is all of this coming from? And we're
not the only ones, guys. We're not the only ones. Right. And just say the white folks house.
Yeah, I'm seeing that.
And I got my friend Benita on. Thanks for stopping by, Benita. She said, "Yep, Asians too." This is a global show. I tell you, we dealing with global.
Yes,
and I'm gonna say Caribbeans too. Don't shame us.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this is a global issue.
It's a global issue.
The issue with this is that's what's keeping so many people stuck. What happened in the house? Because you still got it stuck in you. So now you grown, still dealing with those childhood traumas, those childhood issues that you haven't addressed, that you haven't faced, that you're not talking about. So you keep trying to operate and do this grandiose thing when you all jacked up in the inside. I'm so over, the looking good, but not being good. And this is the problem. See, and I'm not gonna say black people. I'm not gonna say no people.
No.
You know what? But see, this is why, I want you to feel comfortable saying what you want to say, and this is why I say that, because I can't speak. I'm amazed and I'm excited to have others on the show to tell us that they resonate with what we're saying. It's not just us. But I also don't want to speak broad. I have to speak from my experience and from the people I am around the most, which is Black and Caribbean. So to see that others are saying, no, we validate this because we experience it too. I appreciate and I love that. But Renee, I don't want you to feel like you have to broaden what you're saying, because it's not safer, but it's more genuine. Absolutely. To speak on how you've experienced it. So please don't apologize for saying, you don't want to just say Black, because we can't always speak for others. We don't want to make that assumption. So I'd rather us feel comfortable to speak on how we know of what's going on. And please, audience, please chime in, because we need it. We love seeing y'all chime in and validate. Like, yes,
that was just confirmation on everything we're talking about. Yes, because I've experienced that with other households.
Right. I don't think I meant it's a global issue. That's what we're seeing now, that we're hearing. It's white people, it's Asians, and all of that kind of stuff. And one of the things that I know that we do, and talking about mental, working on your mental, working on personal development, many people, and especially Black people, you rather put the money on you than in you. You want to put it on your purse. You want to put it on your shoes and your car.
Yeah.
But you're not putting it in you. And then so these are the reasons why we stay stale, stuck, and stagnant, and you're not able to move forward and grow yourself. That car is going to depreciate. Those clothes may be too tight soon. Or they're going to wear out. But what about your mental health? What about your personal development? That's the best type of development it is. All that looking good and not being good. For what? What is that doing for you? Where's that taking you?
It's a psychology thing.
Yeah. Because you haven't developed.
Yeah.
And so you want to dress up and, feel good and all of that. When my grandson passed, one of the things I used to do, I got up every morning, I would put on makeup and, make myself look good. I would tell myself if I look good, I could feel good. That wasn't, it helped, but I still had to do the inner work. So, whatever helps, but you have to understand it can't all be outside. Some things, will be external, but it's got to be internal. And that's the part people forget, even whether they're an entrepreneur, whether it's the career, when you keep feeling like something is not right, I need more, I don't feel fulfilled, that's because you have not developed yourself like you should have. And so that's why we have got to get in that space and place of understanding I got to do this personal development first. I got to work on me. I got to do the inner work. Then I can do everything I need to do with the business, the relationship. I can start to fix and mend the things I need to mend. So until we understand that, it's just very hard to move forward. And that was me. I would get to a plateau and think to myself, well, dog, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing. I did everything they said I should do. But all in my head, I was feeling like, first of all, while I'm doing it, well, it ain't going to work no way. I don't know if I should do it. Well, and then I start perceiving in my head that this person don't like me and this person gonna stop me. And I'm the only one really stopping myself because I wasn't developed, So I'm so happy. I can't even, some days I'm like, oh my God, this is really happening. Because most of my life, you heard me say this was in 2012 when I left the job. That's when I really started understanding. The earlier part of 2012, I met up with a group of ladies and I joined the church, and the people, they kept being so friendly. My mom already told me, DTA, don't trust anyone. So I'm like, why they keep trying to talk to me? Jeez. And they want to call me and want me to go off. Like, I don't know y'all like that. Leave me alone. And so that was what I was thinking. I said, Lord Jesus. And the one girl, they kept saying, oh, she looked like you. Y'all twins. And I met her and they introduced me. Girl, we got to talk. I said, she gonna get one time. I'm gonna answer this phone and we ain't gonna be talking no more. And so that's what I said to myself. And when we talked that first time, we ended up talking about 4 hours, and they were telling me about this conference. It was a success conference. And I said, they want somebody to pay all that money to put some pictures on a board? Talk about some success, girl. I could paste my own pictures on the board. I was saying it was stupid. It was dumb. I just talking all of this cash noise. And so finally, they did a buy one, get one free. And I told my friend, I said, let's go see what this about. I said, it's probably going to be stupid, but we'll just see. That whole conference, really changed my life. And the group that I got around and the people started speaking into me. When they say your network is your net worth, when they say your circle really matters and you the average of the top 5 people that you hang around, I had never heard that before, first of all, before I went to the conference. So I didn't know it. And then I had to get to the point to accept it. But I was a whole hot mess. And I can say that now. I was a ham. Okay. And so with that being said, that conference made me understand I needed more. And it made me look at me. And so a lot of people think that, I got self-love. When really you don't have self-love, you're selfish. Because you're you're doing stuff that's getting over on you. You're not looking at you. You're not respecting you. You're not digging into who you are, what you about, what you got going on inside of you. And so you going on, you liking and buying your purses and looking good. And, you got your friends and you need to be seen. That's selfish. Let's talk about self-love. All of that is a part of that personal development. And so, no, we cannot skip that. It is not optional. It is definitely a necessity. And so people need to stop thinking they don't need that. When you have a business course as opposed to a personal development course, y'all know which one people gonna pick, right?
Yeah.
The business.
Yeah.
I was on a round table symposium, and it was 5 coaches, including me. And the lady thought that I was a business coach. That's why she asked me to be on it. And I was like, I do some business. I said, but I'm really a personal development coach. I said, because you have to develop your mind before you can really move forward to do the things you need to go to your next level. Do you know 3 of those coaches said they quit doing personal development because people don't want that? That's not what pays. And I understand that you need to pay bills and do what you got to do. But I'm so heavy and strong on that because of the things that happened to me. And because I stayed stuck for so long, because I didn't believe in me, because I didn't trust me. I go get me a lottery ticket faster than I go believe in helping myself do something. I believe in the lottery when the chances are how many million, billion times, but I wouldn't believe in me. And so now that I do, I'm just so passionate. And the fact that, I was able to leave something that was so secure and step out and go to the school to do my own school, and in 14 months be $1 million business, and then to have this business, because people always need, childcare, but then to, be able to do a consulting business and help people, start schools and get accredited. I would have never believed I could do that. And the fact that I've done the things that I've done, I'm going to say this, and it's true. Not one time has my mother said, great job. When I've been nominated for stuff, she says, well, who do you think you are? Wow. See, but if I didn't know who I was, if I didn't develop myself, that thing could have crushed me. That's my mom. She's supposed to be, like you said, you had the encouragement. You saw that stuff. I wish, but that's fine. She was doing what was safe. And I raised my children how she raised me. So imagine when I came home and flipped the script on them. They looked at me like, who do you think? Well, what is this about? And they coming to me negative. I said, we got to rephrase that. You can't say it right. So now the new thing is, I'm trying to be positive. No, we can't try. We got to do. We got to change this thing around. So half of them have gotten. I got a lot of kids, and some of them still working on it. But you got to work on you. Bottom line.
You said that perspective. I was just when you talk about that perspective, that's really key. And Sylvia, it really relates because it's sort of that fashion that even now, after all the success, and parents can still crush. They can still crush, whether you've grown or not. You still, that little kid in you somewhere still looks for the acceptance of what you've accomplished from your parents. That never goes away. And I think that's in there, about how you have that innateness in yourself to, even though that's how mom is, you're okay with that and you've grown past that. And that is really why the mental roadblocks is real. They are really real. And getting those out and getting to talk about those. And I'm enjoying this from a personal level more so today than business wise, because we've had some people chime in that is really getting some understanding, I think, and some clarity into why things are and how they can push past there. So, it's great stuff that you're touching on today right now.
And you touching on so much, and especially when you say, people need to get that help. Renette, tell the folks how you can help them, and how can we as a community support you in your mission?
Well, spread it around that y'all need to work on personal development. I mean, you got to work on you. So that's one of the ways you could help me. And one of the ways that I help serve, I have a course. It is called Prepared for My Next Level. It's starting October 12th through November 16th. It is a 6-week intensive boot camp. And I've taught this class 3 times, which has changed lives. And this right here is a whole personal development course. We'll talk, if you want to do business, whatever you want to do, we talk about that. But we get into who you are. We're talking about your mission, your values, your morals, your standards, your trust. The whole you, the scriptures that you need to stand on to move forward, the words that you need to have. I'm always talking about a PhD. passion, heart, and drive. And as y'all hear me talk, those are my words. I'm very passionate about what I do. I do it from the heart. And I have the drive because not only the drive, I'm determined to make things happen for not only myself, and it's got to be bigger than you. And so in this course, we go through 6 weeks of intense training and learning and digging deep dive about you and where you're trying to go. We look at your goals. We look at, your mindset, everything. So at the end of this course, you have a whole life map. And so when people come to tell you what you can't do, where you can't go, or you've been second guessing yourself and going up in the road of doubt and back and forth, with yourself, you learn to really stand in who you are. I mean, I've seen women come through this course. The one girl, she had a boyfriend, 6 years, cheating. He was a big drug dealer, this, that. She wanted to get out of it. She had more going on. She was able to leave him. I didn't tell her. It's what she felt inside of herself to do that. I mean, I can tell success story after success story. It changes lives. And it's called Prepared for My Next Level. So I would love for anyone who is ready to really go to that next level and do the work. And this time, what I've done, I've added some new stuff to the course. And one of the new things that I've added is the personal one-on-one coaching. So every person that comes in the course, they'll get the one-on-one coaching to go with it. And so that's just huge. So now we could talk about whatever you need to talk about, whether it's the mental thing, whether it's your business thing, but we're going to put the mindset in. I don't care what we do. That's got to be in there. So that's what I have going on, Prepare for My Next Level course. If you want any type of personal coaching, any type of coaching, I'm available for that as well. I help people to really get accountable and visible to what they said they're going to do and get past those mind blocks, the self-limiting beliefs, the doubt, to get out of your head and to get into action. So that's another thing that I do. But that course, I'm telling you, it changes lives. So you want to check it out. I guess I need to give y'all a link or something.
When is it? October
12th through November 16th.
Yes, that's awesome. Yes,
and I'm just excited to hear the conversation we have today, because it was something that we need, especially the year is coming to a close. People, the world has been through so much again for another year. And I think now is the time, especially Thanksgiving in the US is always a time, or should be a time of reflection. I think that's amazing time. This conversation came at such an amazing time to really remind us that all the grinding that we're doing through business, through life, whatever that may be, we still need to take time to really reflect on what it is that we've been through and how are we moving forward.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's definitely and it's at a time now. And I think what you're talking about is so essential and dynamic that we've spent the last pandemic is now probably going on a two-year event, and we spent so much time in the last. We've had some people that bust out into all of these businesses because I think that we've had over the last 2 years, it's been like about 40 something million businesses that have been started worldwide for people just had to do the changes. But I think in the midst of that 40 something, if you go back and do some math or some recalculation, a lot of them will not be counted in that personal development part of that. It's just something that they had to do to continue on what they was leaving behind from before the pandemic started. And now is a great time for you to assess your development as an individual. So now that you've got this business, you can push it forward to where you really want it to be, and not for you to make a few dollars on, at the end of the month. You can do it and you can transform lives. And I'm loving that boot camp. You guys go and sign up for that boot camp, get involved, because this is like next level teaching. It's like when you had that good teacher in high school and like you loved her class. Like this, Miss Bush, can I come to your class? Because I love this class.
That was it.
Yes.
I'm gonna send you the link right now.
Okay.
Because it's just like I said, it's just a passion that I have, because I know what it's like to want something and you just don't feel good about yourself and you feel like, I know it's more. And it's not a good, a good feeling. There's many women that are successful and, they have everything, the house, the car, the children, the husband, but they still know that it's something that they need and they don't step into it. And so this is that time. If you, feel like you at a plateau, if you've been second guessing yourself, all of that, it's time to step up and step out so that you can show up and go up to your next level. And so many people are not there because they are missing that vital piece. Yeah. It's so necessary.
Man, we got education today. I got syllables. I got acronyms. I'm telling you, I got so much
Carl knows me. I'm feeling the
I love writing.
You can tell I'm a teacher, right?
Yeah, and I'm taking notes. My teachers would always say, boy, if you weren't paying attention, nobody could never tell because you was always writing notes. And I'm always writing notes.
That's why you're the money maker.
I don't care who's speaking, because someone always, if you take notes of what people are saying to you, you can filter. Like I told Charlie, my mom used to tell me, always chew up the meat, spit out the bones. Somebody is always saying something you could use. It's just how you take it in. So I'm always chiming, and I'm all okay. I'm gonna get that one now. That's not. I'm gonna get this one. Yeah. So them acronyms, I got them because I'm gonna make me a post over the acronyms on this week. But between you and between the brand mama on Tuesday, oh man, I got a book worth of acronyms.
See, too much. But you know me already. You know me already. I feel a part 2 already. So
I wasn't gonna even say the part 2. I was waiting for you to say it. I know you was gonna say the part 2. Everybody has a part 2 right now.
I'm feeling panel vibes. How to get your life right and get your mind together. That's what that is.
Yes.
Yes.
You gotta get your mind tight to get your life right.
Oh, we got the MC. She is an MC, y'all. It's in her profile. She might drop some skills on you. You better recognize.
Especially when you have people who undermine your thinking and undermine what you're doing, and they do those backhanded compliments, like, "Oh, that's good for you," or "You did all right." Like they do those. Yes, in your little business, they do things to kind of underhandedly like break apart everything that you're doing, because it could be jealousy. They just didn't think you could make it, or the crabs in a barrel mentality. Whoever it is, they want you at the bottom with them, or they trying to climb out too, not realizing, baby, you heavy. I can't bring you yet. Hold on.
Yes.
Let me put the rope back here for you.
Yes, let me get the rope.
Much appreciated.
Yes, Shoshana, thank you for coming by. We appreciate everybody that come by.
For your comments, your participation. That's so wonderful. I love it.
Yes, we like this real talk. We're growing this. We got people on. We set up almost to December now. We just guest on Tuesdays and Thursdays. The Lord has been good to us. I got to give him the grace and mercy first. Give him the love first, because he's really pushed us to this plateau, which we had no idea when we began this. We just was two friends that had worked together and been in the same group. And, we had this chemistry. Yeah, because a lot of people told us we had this chemistry. A lot of people still do. But she's just funny and I'm just funny, but we real. And we couldn't come up with nothing else but real talk, because that's what we do. Before we had this show, me and Charlene would be talking because she was working on the website, and we would just be talking back and forth just about every day. And we just be throwing ideas off of there. I was like, yo, this is just a show. Let's do this and invite people, and this is where, and this just evolved from this. We're only about 2 months in, and we booked for almost the rest of the year.
Because if I'm not mistaken, we've been getting a lot of submissions, so we have to finish those out. But if I'm not mistaken, from last night, I think we're going into January bookings.
Because y'all real, raw, and relevant. Yes.
That's amazing. Some more acronyms. I got my pen. More acronyms.
I love it. Love it. Love it. Yeah, I mean, this is so relevant. People need this. Like, y'all doing the thing. I love it.
Thank you.
Y'all showing out.
We show up.
The website is almost done. We'll be making this also an audio. So for those who can't make the lives, you will be listening on the audio. And we're gonna talk about, should the live stay up forever? What should we do with these lives? Because we don't want it just to sit on LinkedIn and do nothing. We want to make sure that people see it, people hear you guys, and definitely hear your voices. Because, like today, you dropped a whole book on people, and you gave them the knowledge to really set themselves on a path of success. Because a lot of times we think, oh yeah, like you said earlier, people see that you're a successful business, but they didn't see all that struggle before. They didn't see that you didn't sleep for 4 months straight, and you might have been walking into walls. They didn't see that part, but they see that you now on a video with, I don't know who Puffy or whoever that may be, and they're like, oh, you made it. Nah, it's been like 17 years of struggle, and they finally, for whatever reason, you just became in a place, in a space where someone else who could get you to Puffy was there. So it's about making sure you put that work in. Pray if you want to, but you still got to put that work in.
Definitely, because that's
the
so
part people want to skip the work.
They
want to skip the work in the process.
Oh, people definitely want to skip the process. They do not want to be on these journeys. And those are important, because that's where you get fortified. That's where you get strength. Like you was mentioning, a lot of those terms that you get. That's where you get the understanding. That's how you get the patience, because stuff ain't pushing through. Everybody can't go on and have 1 million YouTube followers or get on TikTok. And that's not you. So if you haven't achieved it already, I tell a lot of people, maybe it's you further along. Maybe your direction, the path is not that. Because you got on TikTok and you got 10 million followers. I get on TikTok, I look like a fool. So the journeys is not yours. You have to embrace your journey and take your journey where you. And I tell everybody, and I say this to everybody who's listening. Yes, pray about it. Definitely pray about it. But find out about you. Because a lot of times we try to match what we are to someone else. And that's so important about the personal development. If you develop who you are, it's only one of you. So no one can copy you. So in essence of that, you can shine and be you. Ain't that amazing? That you can shine and just be yourself. That's an amazing thing.
You're so unique. Nobody can be you. That's the problem. People compete, compare, and complain instead of doing the work that they supposed to do.
The 3 C's. Look at this. Look at this.
And I mean, we all know that you don't grow. I mean, when you in the light and everybody looking at you, you're not really, you mean your name might be growing bigger, but are you growing inside? That growth happens when you're going through the valley. It happens in the downtime. That's when the dark times, that's when you grow it. That's when you being molded and shifted and shaken. Not when the light comes, not when everybody's looking. That's not when it happens.
Oh man, I gotta get that. I think I'm gonna bring that back, because Shauna has said that about a pastor. Said that while you're in the valley, what can I get from this moment? What do I need to learn from where I'm here in order to grow? Those are the times that we don't look. We just try to hurry up and get up that valley. Oh no, ain't no sunshine down there.
That's what we complain. We complain and we want it to be over. But you gotta go. You gonna go if you don't go through it. I mean, you're gonna go over it again and again and again. So you might as well just go on through it, buckle up, fasten your seatbelt like they say on the plane, and get ready to go.
Man, this has been wonderful. I'll tell you, yes, we're doing part 2. Charlene have to figure it out. We're doing this panel. Charlene, take us home. I didn't talk enough today. Take us home.
Yes, we are 4 minutes out. But thank you, everyone, for coming through. Thank you, Rynette. You dropped so much. You dropped so much. You about to make me get back into my own personal development, because I went through my journey. I did my thinking. Now it's part of me getting comfortable to share, because I still have that echo in the back, like this your house, keep it indoors.
That's the devil trying to hold you back.
Yeah, so I'm gonna get myself together.
Yes, make sure we
share my journey, because I've heard a lot of people say the same thing that I've gone through. So I just want to thank you for getting that back on track, making us aware again that we need to be comfortable, we need to share our journeys, and we need to do the work. Thank you, everybody, for coming through. We are bringing her back. We're going to get the panel together. We're going to figure it out. That's a 2022 event.
Shoshana asked us, can we do this again? We're going to be doing this again.
Yes,
we definitely going to do this. We got a 2022. Just say this quickly. 2022 is going to be the year of the panels. And we've been putting together some panels, and we've had some lovely guests on it. And we're going to take you guys through a journey. We're going to have to set it up in our mind of how we want to bring it. We're going to take you on a trip in 2022, a trip of growth, a trip of, we're not going to go on all the prosperities, Joe Osteen kind of thing. But we're going to take you on this journey where you're going to grow, you're going to develop. If you listen to what's going on, you're going to have to pay attention.
Yes. So catch us next week. We got another amazing guest. We're about to do it where you can know real recognizes real here on Real Talk Live. Catch y'all later.
All righty.